Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I hope you're having an amazing day, and I am officially back with a new video in which I'm going to be sharing my personal songwriting process with all of you. I have received a few comments asking me how I get my inspiration for my songs, how I write my songs, so I just finally wanted to bring that to my channel and make a video out of it. I started playing the ukulele about 5 years ago, and I have always known that I wanted to write original songs, but the problem is melody was always such a disconnect for me. Lyrics came easily because I have written poetry since I was very young, but when it came to thinking of a melody to put with the song, there was kind of a mental block there for me, and I know I've explained that in some of my other videos, but the melody was the only thing that was stopping me. So when quarantine started, I obviously had a lot more time to dedicate towards working on my music, and I kind of started getting back into the ukulele again after a while of only playing sporadically, and I wrote a song. I wrote my first song and posted the video on Easter of last year. At the moment, I think I have 4 total original songs, which I'm very, very proud of because I was never able to do that before, so the fact that I have that now is truly a blessing. I remember I was kind of just messing around with my ukulele. Out of a poem that I had written, I came up with a melody and something clicked and I was able to write my first song. I think I'm going to start to get into my process now that I've kind of explained the backstory and how I started actually being able to write original songs. I actually always start all of my songs by typing the lyrics into the Notes app on my phone. It's easier for me because in the process of writing a poem, sometimes I want to change the wording to make it sound better. I will insert a screenshot of this note on my phone because all of my lyrics are in there. That's how every song starts for me. I know that not all songs and not all poems have to rhyme, but for me as a writer, that is just the way that it happens naturally. It just naturally rhymes, and yes, I do write some poems that don't rhyme, but when it comes to songs, I feel like it's easier to have them rhyme. All of my current original songs do have a rhyming scheme, and they all started as poems. After I finalize the words to my poem in my phone, I usually give it a title based on a specific phrase that really stuck out to me and a phrase that I would want to go back to. For some of my poems, I have a certain phrase that keeps repeating, or a certain stanza that I repeat several times, and naturally that becomes the chorus of the song, and I take a specific phrase out of that and I use that as the title. Once I have figured out the title and the rhyming scheme, then I pick up an instrument, and all 4 of my current original songs have been written on the ukulele because I didn't get my first guitar until Christmas. So every song starts with me just messing around with chords on my ukulele. For example, this ukulele right here is my first ukulele that I have ever owned. I bought this ukulele 5 years ago when I first started learning how to play. So just a quick thank you to Luna again for this beautiful instrument and for all my others. So this ukulele was actually the one that I used to write my first original song. As I mentioned, every song starts with me just playing around with some chords. So I'll just play a C chord usually. I'll just mess around with some of the easier chords to play. And then after doing that for a little while, I'll kind of advance into some of the chords that I learned later into playing the ukulele. After I mess around with quite a few chords on the ukulele, I'll usually try to start putting chords together that I feel sound really good when played one after another. I'll just use my first song, Just Not Like That, as an example. So I started with a simple E minor chord played this way, and I realized that if I play the E minor chord with my fingers in these specific positions, if I lift my finger, that will simply give me a G chord, which I think is a very good combination of chords, and they sound nice together. And then from there, I realized that it would be pretty easy to transition from a G chord to a C chord, and just by sliding my finger one fret up, that's a very easy transition that still sounds really good with the group of chords that I had started. And as I would play them, I would kind of start to hum a melody that I could adjust as needed to fit the lyrics. Just to kind of give me a base for the melody of the song. And then I would look back at my poem and see the words, and I would start trying to fit the words in with my strumming of the ukulele. He broke my heart once, twice before, and every time it felt like war. And every battle I had lost, didn't know that my good days still wouldn't be perfect in every way. Sometimes those fantasies never become reality, but dreams never leave. They never leave. And when it came time for the chorus, I decided that I didn't want to do another chord progression. I wanted to try something a little different. So I kind of just started messing with different sounds on my ukulele, not even chords, just sounds. And eventually it got to the point where I muted the strings and just started strumming. It was my first original song, and I really wanted to be proud of it and to remember it. So I decided on just simply strumming my ukulele while muting the fretboard. Just not like that. Just not like that. Just not like that. Just not like that. I also decided that I wanted my original song to have a bridge. All of the songs I've written so far do have bridges, and for this specific song, I decided I wanted to change up the strumming pattern for the bridge to kind of make it clear that that part of the song was different from the rest of it. And so for the bridge, I decided to simply strum down without doing any specific pattern, and I believe my chord progression was E minor to G to C, C major 7, A minor, and F. So basically all of the original songs that I've written so far had a specific order that I did everything in. I have verse 1, then the pre-chorus, then the chorus, verse 2, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, and then I usually repeat the chorus once or twice, and then sometimes at the end of the song I'll have a little segment of a phrase or something like that that I'll just repeat that was already mentioned in the song to just kind of finish off the song. So that is my general layout for how I write a song. Once I have finalized all of the components of my original song, including the lyrics, the instrumentals, the strumming patterns, everything like that, then I actually transfer the song to my songwriting journal. I love this notebook so much. I think it's so pretty. I always knew that I was going to use this journal to write songs, and I'm so glad that I'm finally able to do that. It just makes me so happy. In this journal, as soon as I finalize one of my original songs, I write it right away. And I use these little symbols to kind of tell me which part of the song it is. So the butterflies represent the verses, the flowers represent the pre-chorus and the chorus, and this little symbol represents the bridge. I always write the chord progressions. I tell myself when to go back to the chorus. That's why I use the little symbols. And I try to be very organized about it. So I write the specific strumming pattern for each part of the song, and then I tell myself how many rounds to do. And that is basically how I organize my songs in my songwriting journal. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed seeing my personal songwriting process. Writing songs is not really something that I do on a consistent basis because I can only really write songs when something has happened in my life that gives me the inspiration to do so. I can't just sit down and decide I'm going to write a song. That's not how it works for me. If you are getting frustrated with yourself, if you're trying to write songs and it's just not working, believe me, it really just takes time. And I know that's very cliche to say, but it really does. Never give up, and just know that the day will come when you're able to do it, and that things happen when they're meant to happen, and everything happens for a reason. And to all of you who are writing original songs or creating original content, just know that my love and support are with you, and I truly wish you the best on your journey. I really hope that this video was helpful and enjoyable for you to watch. I may or may not have a couple of surprises coming up that I mentioned in my last video that I'm really excited about, and it might not be a big deal to some people, but everything going on right now is really exciting for me, and I honestly am just really happy with where I'm at right now, and I cannot wait to keep creating videos. And I'm actually hoping to do a live stream this weekend, most likely on Sunday, where I just give personal updates on just me and how I've been doing and what I've been doing, because that's something that I've wanted to do for a while. So if you're interested in that, please make sure to stick around. And other than that, I love you guys so much, and I appreciate every single one of you from the absolute depths of my heart, and I will be back as soon as possible.